My beloved son, my precious daughter, I am the Lord your God, and I do not speak to you now by chance. I speak because there is a spiritual urgency knocking at the door of your soul. Today, I have released Michael, my archangel of war, fire, and justice. Not with symbolic words, but with a living, vibrant, and urgent mission. He comes to you with a message that can no longer wait. Something has been activated in the spiritual realm, and you now stand at the crossroads where the natural and supernatural intersect. Do you feel this? Do you sense that something around you is about to shift? As if an invisible pressure is mounting, as if something has been brewing in the heavens and is now ready to manifest in your life. This is not merely an impression, it is a sign. Heaven is awakening what has been dormant inside you for far too long. Today, I came to set things in motion. Comment right now. I am listening. If you feel that these words are not just beautiful but personal, if you understand that they speak to your history, your struggles, your hopes, and your secret prayers, then declare that you are listening. For when you acknowledge my voice, you open the door to the next instruction. Michael is already standing at the threshold of your home, sword in hand, waiting for your response to act. Stay vigilant, for what I am about to reveal will be light in your confusion, direction in your indecision, strength in your exhaustion. Now that you have heard, there is no turning back. The promise has been fulfilled, the heavens have shifted, and your story has just turned a new page. Time is accelerating. Have you felt it? Days pass like hours, and decisions that once could wait now demand an immediate response. There is an urgency screaming within your spirit. It is not just exhaustion, but a divine alarm. It is a sign that the window for transformation is narrowing. I see your silent struggles, the ones no one sees, the ones you do not publish or tell anyone about. I see the battles that consume your nights, the tears hidden in your pillow, the words swallowed in moments of conflict because you are tired of explaining what you feel. I have always seen. And that is why I speak to you now. What was once an invitation has become an urgency. You stand at a pivotal point where remaining unchanged is no longer an option. Something must shift, and it must shift now. Not tomorrow. Not when the circumstances seem perfect. Waiting for the ideal scenario will cost you the miracle that is knocking on the door of your heart today. It calls out to you, let me in. Let me act. Let me transform. If you have been feeling this weight over the past few days, if you have noticed an unusual tension in the atmosphere, an increase in conflicts without clear reason, pause. This is not mere coincidence. This is activation. It is your moment to say, I recognize it. I feel it. I refuse to live on autopilot any longer. And know this. This urgency does not come to instill fear, but to bring alignment. When the heavens accelerate, it is a sign that the promise is preparing to manifest, but it cannot land on distracted ground. That is why Michael has been sent, to awaken you from spiritual slumber, to break stagnation, to place you on the path of transformation. Stay vigilant. In the next few moments, I will reveal exactly what is about to erupt in your life and why your obedience is now the final key to unlocking it. The promise is closer than ever, but time is running out. Michael does not descend lightly. He does not move at the whim of human emotions or the occasional cry. When Michael is released, it is because something serious is unfolding. Heaven has detected an intensity in your battle. A weight, a weariness, a struggle so fierce that an ordinary angelic intervention would not suffice. What surrounds you requires a sword. And today, Michael has drawn his sword. This is not figurative language. It is real, it is spiritual, and it carries not only defense but transformation, liberation, and holy war in your favor. He has come to sever the unseen chains that have held you back, ties that drain your strength, paralyze your progress, destabilize your home, and silence your faith. Even the strongest warriors reach a point where they need reinforcements. Have you noticed how your battles have intensified? How certain cycles seem to repeat themselves as if trying to keep you bound? This is because the enemy knows you are nearing a breakthrough. You're on the verge of fulfilling the prophecy spoken over your life, and Michael has been activated to ensure that the promise is not stolen once again. Share this message now with 3 people you know who need this awakening. When a warrior like Michael is released, he shakes the atmosphere. His movement is not just for you, it transforms homes, alters destinies, and floods darkness with light. If you feel something trembling within, if clarity is replacing confusion, if the spiritual weight is lifting, it is because Michael is present. He is cutting ties, silencing accusations, and shielding the promises over your life. I have been sending you signals, small ones to the inattentive eye, but unmistakable to those with spiritual sensitivity. You have noticed them, but you have hesitated to believe. Those recurring dreams that echo heaven's reminders, the unexpected encounter with someone who spoke directly to your hidden struggles, the coincidence that led you to the exact word you needed to hear. You have been paying attention. Know this, I do not speak only in churches. I speak in silence, in routine, in the unexpected. I speak when you are weary and believe no one sees. I speak through messages like this, through whispers in the spirit, through the tears that come unbidden, through the peace that visits you, even in the midst of chaos. I have never stopped speaking. But have you been listening? The signs have intensified because time is running short. You are closer to your breakthrough than you realize, and heaven is ensuring that you do not miss this moment through distraction, fear, or doubt. What is coming will demand your full attention, your sensitivity, and your courage. Recognize the signs. Comment now. What sign have I sent you? Was it a dream, a verse, a persistent feeling, a person, an unexpected situation? By acknowledging it, you align yourself with the next step. If you do not yet understand, stay with me, because in the next moments, I will reveal how to interpret these signs and how to respond to them with wisdom, faith, and boldness. For the one who learns to hear my voice in the details will never again be lost along the way. He does not seek to merely attack you externally. He aims to extinguish the very essence of what I have placed inside you. That is why you have felt an inexplicable emptiness despite being surrounded by everything. That quiet urgency pressing against your soul, that restless sense that time is slipping too quickly, yet you remain out of place. But today I call you once more, because what is at stake is not just a passing phase, but the fullness of your life. Something I have prepared with divine intention, yet requires your collaboration to flourish. If this message resonates deep within your soul, stay connected, because the upcoming revelations will directly touch your life's purpose, the adjustments you must make, and the paths that will soon be clearly unveiled. Michael descends not only with a sword, he comes bearing a message. A word designed specifically for you, aimed at the places where it hurts the most, the corners of your heart you avoid looking into, the truths you have silenced. He is not a messenger of accusation, but of freedom. And his message is urgent, direct, unshakable. It is time to let go of what is destroying you from within. You know what I speak of. That unseen burden slowly consuming you. That habit which appears insignificant, yet drains your spiritual strength. That recurring thought which distances you from me. That choice which does not align with who I have called you to be, yet you have not found the courage to release it. It is time to sever toxic ties, relationships that hold you back, words that diminish you, influences that instill doubt in your divine identity. People who approach only when they need something, who exhaust your energy, who claim love but exert control. Michael stands before you declaring, "Enough." It is time to end these harmful cycles. The cycles of failure, the cycles of self-sabotage, the cycles that began in trauma and masqueraded as normality. The cycles you tried to justify but have proven to only distance you from the destiny I have prepared for you. It is time to say no to what separates you from God. You were created to walk in light, yet every choice contrary to my spirit drags you into the shadows, intoxicates you with distractions, burdens you with weights never meant to be yours, and distances you from the divine revelations awaiting you. But today, Michael has come down to help you cut these ties, not with guilt, but with authority. Leave in the comments now. What must you surrender today? Name it sincerely. Declare what has drained your energy, your faith, your joy. For when you bring it into the light, it loses its power to control you. Many of you have heard this call before, the voice of heaven reaching out with both love and firmness. You have been moved by words like these, felt the trembling in your spirit, recognized that something greater was calling you, but you chose to ignore it. You postponed it. You silenced what your soul had already begun to scream. And now you live with the consequences. Broken relationships, not because they were meant to end, but because no action was taken. Purposes buried alive. Families emotionally and spiritually divided because someone refused to move when heaven demanded action. Lives weighed down by silent regrets, all because at the decisive moment they chose not to act. But you are still in the right moment. There is still a gap of mercy open. There is still a call echoing. This does not have to be your story. You do not have to look back and regret saying, "I heard, but I did not respond." Now, you can break the cycle. Your response begins with a simple but powerful gesture of faith. Share this message, not just as a click, but as a declaration. I will no longer be a statistic of inertia. I will act. I will obey. I will take a stand. For when you amplify the voice of heaven, you become an instrument of liberation in the lives of others. You do not know who will look to you today and, because of you, escape the very pain you once carried. This is your moment, the moment between remaining unchanged or turning the page. Heaven is watching. Michael stands at the door, and now, it is your turn to act. Stay connected, for I will soon unveil what practical steps you can take today to break free from inertia and enter the flow of divine transformation. Because whoever responds to the call of heaven steps into the fulfillment of the promise. This is not the first time I have spoken to you. There have been other restless nights, other words, other moments where something inside you burned, where heaven knocked at your door. And yes, that was me. It was my spirit reaching for you amidst the noise, the pain, the distraction. But today is different. Today, the intensity of this message is a sign. Perhaps this is the last time I speak to you with this clarity, this urgency, this prophetic weight. Not because I wish to give up on you, but because time is running out. A time for decision, a time for definition. There comes a moment when love persists, but justice must intervene. My love compels me to reach for you one more time, to touch your heart, call your name in the silence of your soul, remind you that you were created for more, called for more, set apart for a purpose that still beats within you. Even if it has been buried under disappointment, exhaustion, or sins you long to abandon. But today, there is still time. It is still possible to respond. It is still possible to alter the course. And it all begins with a single, decisive step. Activate the bell now, not just for notifications, but to remain connected to what I am about to reveal. There will be more words, more directions, and each will be like a map, a light upon your path, a voice in the wilderness. But you must be ready. Do you feel this message reaching deeper than before? Do you sense the stirring, the tension, the cry locked within your chest? Then listen. Do not ignore it. Heaven is calling, perhaps for the last time with this intensity. In the coming moments, I will continue to guide you, but only those who remain will hear, will respond, and will step forward. Because time is running out, and the final opportunity is now. This act of faith is more than words. It is a declaration. I am here, Lord. I have heard. I am standing. When you respond to God's timing with action, you step into the acceleration of fulfillment. Stay with me, for discernment will be crucial in this new season, not just to endure, but to thrive. The celestial clock does not slow down, and those aligned with the rhythm of heaven walk in the flow of miracles. I see what no one else sees, what you hide behind smiles, what you disguise with distractions, what you try to ignore just to move forward. But when I look at you, I do not merely see sins, I see the root. And today, I come with love, precision, and truth to offer you a divine diagnosis. Yes, there is fear. Fear of failing again, fear of trying and being hurt, fear of trusting and being disappointed, fear that the past will repeat itself. And because of fear, you have hid from opportunities, from relationships, from callings. Yes, there are doubts. Doubts about yourself, about what could be, about whether there is still time, about whether there is still purpose. And this doubt, like a slow poison, has suffocated your spiritual boldness. Yes, there are wounds. Wounds from the past that still bleed. Words spoken that still sting. Absences that still echo. Betrayals that still weigh upon you. You have moved forward, but beneath the surface the pain remains. Yes, there is resentment. Silent bitterness towards people you openly forgave, but still carry within the depths of your heart. Names you avoid speaking because they still bring you pain. But I also see something else. I see untapped potential. Dreams I myself planted that still live, even when buried. Gifts you once wielded. Gifts that touched lives. Gifts that now lie dormant, longed for by those who once received them. I see a calling that still stands before my throne, a purpose unfulfilled, paths still awaiting you, connections I have prepared, fruit you have yet to bear. I see who you will become if you allow me to heal what has held you back. Comment now. I want healing. This phrase, if spoken sincerely, initiates the process. For I do not heal superficially. I go to the root. I treat the trauma, the fear, the doubt, the pride, the discouragement, and I transform all of it into testimony. Stay with me as I guide you through deep restoration, a process that will unfold moment by moment, and you will soon realize what once wounded you will now become your source of authority. For when I heal, I also deliver. And when I restore, I also raise up. Are you ready? Then declare it. I want healing. And Michael is already advancing with a sword of light to preserve what I have begun in you. This moment is not figurative, not exaggerated. Right now, you hold in your hands the power to change the trajectory of your life. This is not merely about adjusting routines or boosting moods. This is about destiny. This is real life being redirected. This is a promise being activated. This is your purpose rising again. But this power has a window, an expiration. It weakens with each rejected opportunity. Each time you say, later, not now, when I'm ready. Something in the spirit cools. What was fire fades to embers. What was momentum turns into weight. And the window that was open closes. Because heaven respects choices, even the ones that paralyze. That is why I speak now with urgency and love. The time is now, not tomorrow, not when everything calms down, not when you feel it's time. The time for feeling has passed. Now is the time to act. The decision you make today can open a path of transformation, a divine connection, a prophetic direction, an unexpected restoration, and it all begins with one simple step. Position yourself. Subscribe now, not for numbers, but to ensure that the next instructions reach you. Because today's revelation is only the beginning. Heaven is speaking. More is coming. Do you want to break cycles? Do you want to unlock what has been stagnant for years? Do you want to step into what you've always known was yours but could never grasp? Then move now. Decide now. Align now. Stay with me. Soon I will reveal how simple acts of faith turn into seeds for permanent miracles. But everything depends on what you do today. The enemy does not act randomly. He is strategic. He has studied your patterns, observed your weaknesses, analyzed your path, and he has placed obstacles before you. Obstacles you barely recognize as traps, because they wear disguises, distractions that seem harmless, fears you've learned to ignore, people who smile yet make you step back, habits that relieve momentarily but drain you in the long run. These obstacles were not placed by accident. They were positioned to slow you down, exhaust you, confuse you, and most of all, to keep you from stepping into purpose. And you know what else? You've been trying to fight alone, and that is why you are exhausted. These barriers cannot be broken by human strength alone. They require spiritual intervention. So today, I have sent Michael. He does not come only with a sword, he comes with direction. He comes with divine orders to cut through what was set against you. He goes before you, clearing the way. But he acts only when given authorization. And that authorization begins with your positioning. Declare it now. I win. This activates angelic assistance. It is like raising a banner in the spirit realm, a declaration that your path will be cleared, your purpose will be protected. And watch, not all obstacles will vanish instantly. Some will quietly disappear. Others will confront you. But all have a decreed end, when you stand firm in obedience and faith. Now it is your turn. If you feel you are at your limit, if your soul cries out for intervention, if you carry a silent burden that has weighed on you for too long, declare your need. Not in desperation, but in faith. Because in this space, there are people who will pray for you. People who have conquered similar battles. People who stand as unseen intercessors. And soon, you will realize you are not alone. When you write down your need, you expose the wound to God's light. And what emerges, hell can no longer conceal. I am not a God of improvisation. I am the God of perfect plans. And in this moment, with the clarity of heaven, I want you to know that I have a specific plan to restore every area of your life. Nothing will be left out. Nothing will be overlooked. Spirit, soul, and body, heart, mind, and provision, family, purpose, and rest. The plan is already in motion, drawn with divine precision and released in the spiritual realm. It did not begin today. It began when you cried silently, unaware that I was listening. It began when you thought no one saw your pain, but heaven had already started gathering resources, dispatching angels, positioning people, and carving paths. Now, only one thing remains. You must recognize the power of this truth. The plan is written, released, waiting to unfold, but it requires cooperation. Heaven does not invade. It moves when faith welcomes it. And when you say yes, with faith, surrender, and obedience, heaven understands that your life is ready to be rebuilt. Like right now, if you say yes to my restoration plan, this simple gesture is more than a click. It is a prophetic act, an extension of your hands in surrender, a declaration that says, I accept, I trust, I am ready. And as soon as your yes resounds, heaven aligns with speed. This plan is not generic. It is tailored specifically to you, your story, your pain, the shattered pieces, the dreams abandoned. Spiritually, I will restore your connection to me. Emotionally, I will heal the wounds that have lingered for years. Physically, I will renew your strength, health, and vigor. Financially, I will unlock what has been withheld. Relationally, I will restore bonds and sever destructive ties. This message is more than an announcement. It is a prophetic call. Today, I grant you something the enemy has long sought to prevent. Spiritual authority. Not human influence nor emotional force, but heavenly power. The same authority that shakes invisible realms, moves the heavens, and silences the underworld. It is an anointing that transforms your words into decrees, your prayers into keys, your stance into a battle already won. You were not chosen merely to survive. You were marked to rule spiritually, to stand with your heart aligned to heaven and declare, here, in this house, in this life, on this journey, God's plan will be fulfilled. This authority is not reserved for the perfect. It is given to the available. To those who listen and say yes. To those who, despite their wounds, still choose to believe. It is for you. Today, I give you the authority to say enough to oppression, to cut ties of emotional captivity, to undo unconscious agreements with pain, and to proclaim healing, provision, reconciliation, and breakthrough. Heaven supports you, but authority must be activated. It requires faith in motion. That is why I ask you to declare now, I receive this authority. Do not merely write these words, speak them aloud. Let your spirit, your conviction, your awareness resound. From this moment forward, you will pray differently, act differently, speak differently, because something has shifted in the unseen realm. Michael stands by your side, not as a distant observer, but as a guardian of what has been activated within you. Because whoever carries the authority of heaven never again walks as a mere wanderer on earth. Transformation will not come through emotion alone, or silent prayer alone. It requires action, bold, immediate, unshaken action. Faith without action is simply a delayed intention. And today, heaven calls you to move. No more postponing, no more hesitating, no more promising that change will come someday. Today is the day. Now is the time. Here are your steps. These are the keys that will unlock what has already been released in the spiritual realm. 1. Identify what must change. You know what it is. It weighs on you. Whether a habit, a relationship, a routine, a thought, a behavior, admit it. Acknowledge it. What is recognized can be healed. 2. Express your decision aloud. Speak it with your own voice, for the spiritual realm responds to declarations. Say, "Today I break free from what paralyzes me. Today I stand with heaven." When you speak, hell listens. When you declare, the heavens record. 3. Cut ties today. No more excuses, no more negotiations with what destroys you. Block it, walk away, delete it, resign from it. Change the number, change the environment. Give a clear signal that you no longer belong to this cycle, for heaven only advances where holiness and courage reign. 4. Take a step of faith in the right direction. Even if you tremble, even if you fear, even if you lack certainty. Take the first step. Make the call. Make the decision. Commit to it. God does not require many steps. He needs your first. When you take a step of faith, the ground appears beneath you. To ensure you don't miss what is coming, stay connected. Every word that follows will be a map, and a map only guides those who are moving. You are, so stay with me. Soon, I will show you how these steps multiply into real fruit. Emotional healing, inner peace, restored relationships, and accelerated purpose. Because those who obey today experience the miracle tomorrow. For those who respond now, I make a direct, living, and irreversible promise. There will be divine intervention in the most urgent area of your life. The very matter that keeps you awake at night, that you pray over in silence, though nearly losing hope. What no one knows in its fullness, but I have seen, heard, and now chosen to act upon. Michael is now authorized. The sword is drawn. The instructions are released, but he moves only when you decide. The command was never to wait until things improved. The command was to act on behalf of those who say yes to transformation. If you are reading this now, it is no coincidence. Heaven is preparing you for an accelerated response. Do you want to witness an intervention? Do you long to see what once seemed impossible unfold before your very eyes? Then do not wait. Do not hesitate. Act now. Comply, share, declare, advance. There is a deadline, and it was not set by human urgency, but by divine wisdom. In the spiritual realm, everything has its appointed time, and that time carries a limit. The special intervention being announced at this very moment comes with a specific window of action, and that window is about to close. I do not tell you this to stir fear, but to awaken urgency. Right now, some are hearing this message yet still waiting for the right moment, when they feel more faith, when everything becomes clearer. But hear this. Heaven does not act based on feelings. It moves according to obedience and immediate response. The season of special harvest is nearing its end. It is the final phase of this divine cycle. Angels are already gathering the fruit of what has been sown, and Michael is completing his assigned missions. Those who choose now will be swept into this wave of miracles. Those who hesitate will watch doors close that they were meant to step through. Raise your banner in the spirit. Comment now with the fire emoji if you refuse to miss this divine moment. This simple yet prophetic symbol declares, I am aware. I am ready. I choose to be part of this move of God. Because those who respond swiftly walk in the supernatural speed of heaven. Repeat these words in your heart, with reverence, with truth, with the weight of eternity pressing upon them. Lord, I recognize that this is my last chance for complete transformation. I received the message brought by Michael. I commit to act now and refuse to delay any longer. This prayer is not just words. It is a covenant, a seal between you and heaven, a line drawn between what has been and what you are destined to become. It is the moment when your weary heart rises and declares, "Enough. I will no longer run. I will take my stand." Do you know what happens when someone prays with sincerity? The spiritual gears begin to shift. Michael receives new commands. Angels are dispatched. Doors open. Atmospheres change. Heaven begins to write a new story with your name upon it. If your heart trembles at this moment, if tears well up, if an unfamiliar peace floods your spirit, comment, "Amen," right now. Because this amen is not an ending. It is the beginning of everything. It is your yes to the plan formed for you since your mother's womb. It is the echo of your soul saying, "I choose transformation. I choose my purpose. I choose God." And now, heaven responds. Hear this prophetic decree, the word that will mark a new season in your life. Your days of defeat are over. Yes, the cycle where everything seemed to go wrong, the phase where you barely recovered from one battle before another struck, has come to an end. Shame will be replaced by honor. Stagnation will be overtaken by movement. Loss will give way to harvest. A new season of victories is here. Real, undeniable, tangible victories. Victories that will silence doubt. Victories that will not be yours alone. They will become testimony to those around you. What seemed impossible will manifest before your eyes. You will witness with your own eyes what you once only dared to dream in prayer. What was merely a promise will become presence. What was hoped will become experience. But understand, this word is sealed by faith and activated by obedience. So click like now as an act of agreement and share it with someone. This promise is not meant to be kept. It is meant to be released. When you share, you spread the decree. When you declare, you sign in the spiritual realm. I believe, I will receive, I will walk in it. Stay alert, because in the coming days, signs will begin to manifest. Doors will open unexpectedly. Answers will come from places you never imagined. You will remember this moment, the day everything began to shift, and Michael remains by your side, not as a silent observer, but as a guardian of what has been unleashed. His sword remains drawn, not for battle, but in expectation. He came by direct order with heavenly instructions with protection, provision, and deliverance. But now, he awaits your response. All of heaven is watching. What will you say? This is not just another message. It is the final call to action. The last cry before the window closes. The last opportunity to save what truly matters. And you know exactly what that is. Your home, your soul, your destiny, your purpose. All depends on the decision you make right now. Subscribe so you do not miss the directions still to come. Activate the bell as a declaration that says, "I am listening. I am ready." Click like as a prophetic gesture of acceptance. Share now, because your decision today may be the miracle someone else has been waiting for. Finally, comment, "My life will be saved." This is not just a phrase. It is an eternal seal. It is heaven hearing your voice. It is Michael carrying your response before the throne. It is you declaring, "I choose life. I choose the truth. I choose God's plan." After this, nothing will be the same. What was a battle will become victory. What was painful will become testimony. And all of heaven will know that on this day, At this hour you responded, and your life was saved.